Gavite Games.
Crisis averted. Hang on a minute, that means I need to review stuff. Hello world, welcome to Gavite Games. As you can tell by the kick-ass intro, I'm doing a first impressions review. Now you're wondering, what does that mean? Basically it's to prevent, obviously, the demon coming through and ruining time and space. I'm going to have to play for like the first hour, half hour or so of the game, depending how long it is, and just evaluate whether I want to continue playing it or not. And you're thinking, how many things you can do for the first impressions? I mean, you take 10 minutes ranting at a video, so it can't take you that long to talk about how much you like the game or hate the game. Which is why, for this first impressions, all of these. To make this review seem a little more structured than it actually is, I'll start with Mega Drive games. So I'll start with the ones I don't have a box for, which is these three games here. First up, Universal Soldier. Universal Soldier is basically, from what I can tell from the internet, I checked it out, it's just an in-name only to do with the movie of the same name. It's made by Accolade, who are renowned for making quite good ports, and basically it's a Japanese port of a game which I can't remember for the life of me what it was called, but it's nothing to do with Universal Soldier. And to be honest with you, I don't recall at any point in Universal Soldier the characters turning into giant spinning spiky balls and rolling around the screen, rolling around the movie. Maybe I'm wrong, but yeah, this game is quite cool. I played up to like the third level, it's really good. I'm having good fun with it so far. And it's kind of very, very level with the password system, so that's kind of good too, considering I die all the time because I suck at game. So yeah, this one's going to get a pass from Gavite. Moving to another game by Accolade, Gods. This game seems very much like kind of a platformer-y kind of Golden Axe, and I really like Golden Axe, so this one's pretty good too. The one thing I will say is, maybe it's me or the difficulty, or but to me it seems the controls are a little bit off. Just that much that it seems to be a problem to traverse through the screen. And also, there seems to be a weird thing with switches. You need to be switching them on and off all the time. I don't know why, but it seems to be the thing you need to do. And it's not as if I'm having trouble doing it, it's just kind of ridiculous. I want to continue playing it, but I'm in no hurry to. So I'll give it a maybe. It's not too bad. And another game I haven't got a box for, NBA Jam. For me this plays a lot like the PlayStation game Space Jam, only you get to play as actual basketball players rather than Looney Tunes. The only reason I have fond memories of that one is because when I was younger I really liked the movie Space Jam. I know, I'm sorry. But this just plays like that, only on the Mega Drive, and using real basketball players, so it's just a good game. I probably won't continue playing it, to be honest, because I've played Space Jam. And I got to play as Bugs Bunny when I did that, so not a bad two-player game. I'll probably recommend it to anyone who wants to do like if you're into sports, this is not a bad game. Also, you'll notice this is a Genesis cartridge. For some reason it still plays on the PAL Mega Drive I have. Who knows? And for the finale of the unboxed Mega Drive games I have, Street Fighter 2. I've had so much stuff about this because I play fighting games a lot, as you may or may not know. Like I've got Mortal Kombat. I play a lot of Tekken as well, and I've never played a Street Fighter game. The one thing I've been playing it for like an hour or so, and I've pretty much completed the game because it's a fighter. There's no real completing about it. It's just more memorizing combos and stuff. The combo list is a bit weird if you're not used to like the Street Fighter setup. I've never played Street Fighter game, as I just said, so it's kind of weird to play for someone who plays Tekken. With Tekken, the combos are like forward button. With this one, it's like circle round and then button. So I had to get used to that. It genuinely does help that I've got one of the fighting Mega Drive pads. Otherwise you have to play with the 3 buttons all mapped to different things, and I can imagine that getting quite confusing for people.
You win. Perfect.
So yeah, I'm going to continue playing this, but only when friends are over, so we can beat the crap out of each other on the Mega Drive, as well as with Mortal Kombat. And now we move on to the boxed Mega Drive games. Let's first off start with a game that annoys me. What game doesn't? This one. Cosmic Spacehead. A, that sounds like a really cool band, but B, the main reason I got this is because it's made by Codemasters, aka the guys who made Worms, so I thought it was going to be fun. One problem though, when I got this, even though it says nowhere on the box, this is a Master System game. So, believe it or not, I went back to the second-hand shop and found the cartridge so I could play it on the Mega Drive. I was genuinely disappointed when I got hold of this because, well, for ages basically that box was sitting on my shelf and I was like, it looks like a really cool game. The still shots look kind of colourful and cartoony, and then I played it, and it's just like a text adventure combo thing with like side-scrolling as well. But in the side-scrolling section you can't touch anything or you die. So it's a lot more kind of exercise and avoidance. But it seems to work on gameplay developer logic, and I've not managed to really do anything. There's like 3 towns I can visit and I can't go anywhere else without getting a passport, which I can't get from the post office, but you'd assume you get the passport from. Or I can't find it anywhere else anyway, so I won't continue playing this because I literally have no idea what I'm doing. So that was a boxed unboxed one. Let's move on, shall we? These two. For those of you who can see it because I splayed it across my fingers, this is Earthworm Jim and Vector Man. First off, let's start with Earthworm Jim. Earthworm Jim is a thing that people speak of like legendarily when it comes to the Mega Drive. Like, have you got Earthworm Jim? No. Ah, you should get Earthworm Jim. I've never played an Earthworm Jim, and I don't remember the cartoon at all. Like, maybe it's before my time, or I just don't know about it. So I bought it just to see what it was all about. And it's a really, really good run and gun shooter with kind of utilize on the fact he's a worm. I'm having fun with it so far. It is ridiculously hard though. Like, it's even like harder than, I would say harder than Batman actually, for comparison's sake, because I'm having trouble getting past like the 3rd level, and I'm the kind of guy who can complete Psych 2 without trying, and Golden Axe 2 nowadays. But this thing, I'm having a little bit of trouble, just traversing through the levels. Though I have found cheat codes to give him an afro. You know, swings and roundabouts. Moving on to the other game, I splayed across my fingers. Vector Man. This game is really cool. I'm having a lot of fun traversing through the levels. These graphics are amazing. For the Mega Drive, it looks like a PlayStation 1 game, I swear to God. Yeah, I don't know whether the developers were then bought by Ubisoft or turned into Ubisoft, but yeah, you play a guy who's got floating orbs for a body, which is kind of like Rayman, and yeah, it's a run and gun shooter, but the power-ups are a lot different than they are in other run and gun shooters. For example, in this one, you can turn into like bombs, flying planes, and fish because you're a robot. You can do what the hell you like. And also upgrades the shooter. I'm having a lot of fun so far. The difficulty curve seems about right, so each time you get a little bit further on. So yeah, it's about Batman level difficulty for me. That was the point where you play and then you're like, oh fuck, I died. Oh, here's why I died, and then you just go back and go through. And just yeah, I'm having fun. So I'm going to continue playing this. This gets us Gavite seal of approval. And now we come to the final game of the box Mega Drive ones. Tailspin. This is based on an old cartoon that I had never heard of. It must have been played on the Disney Channel because I never watched that when I was younger. It seems to be the way that each level plays out. There's like 10 boxes scattered throughout the levels, and you need to go through and collect them all. You can play as 2 different bears. You can play as a little one and the big one. As a little one, you can jump higher, run faster, and have projectile weapons. As the big one, you can stop the game, reset it, and play as the little one. Because frankly, as the big one, you can't really do anything. This game is shocking. The boss fights are weird, and the whole premise seems to be a bit bizarre, because I played I watched, like, it seems to have, like, the characters from Jungle Book in, but I watched Jungle Book. I don't ever recall there being fucking aeroplanes. So, no seal of approval on this. Let's start on the PlayStation 2 games I got to review. These three. Let's start with the Sonic Gems collection. I got this because I need to have everything made with Sonic in ever to be in my collection. Shut up! This is really, really cool. The standout games for me are definitely Sonic Fighters, which is a ridiculous fighting game, where you can play as Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and all the other characters they threw in just to make up the ranks. And Amy is another one of the main characters I recognise. But it's a ridiculous fighting game. It is hilariously fun. It's a very, very, very cartoony game, and I've not found anything wrong with it. It's just on your own it can get a bit repetitive, but I think there's enough variety in how you're meant to work, use the combos and stuff like that to complete the game. That it makes it a fun experience. And when playing two-player, that game becomes hilarious. And also, the other standout is Sonic CD. Now, if you watched the year 0 before I started doing this properly with introduction and title cards and a logo, and back when I really didn't have a uniform, you know that I played Sonic CD, and the way I got to play Sonic CD was having to get down from the loft and set up a Windows 95 PC on my desktop in order just to play it. All that effort I went to, I could spend £10 and got this, which has it on it as one of the primary things. And Sonic CD is as fun as ever. The main problem I had with it when I reviewed it in my year 0 type stuff, it still rings true here. The game's too easy, the bosses are too easy to kill, and they seem to be very gimmicky. And the last level is just a bitch to complete because, as I've said before, there's like level, then there's a gap in the level, and then there's the rest of the level, and the final boss is a piece of piss. Sonic CD is still a bit of fun. I enjoy it more than I did when I was doing it on the Windows 95 PC, because on the Windows 95 PC it took me like 14 quadrillion years to get it to work, and even though when I did get it to work, the cinematics were always a bit weird. This one, the cinematics work perfectly in their full screen, so what do I know? The downside to this, you get lumped with a lot of Game Gear games, which are okay, but they're just, well, the Game Gear or Master System, what do you want to call them. They're still, they're okay Sonic games, but just for the collection I got them, to be honest. And you also get Sonic R, or as I like to call it, Traveller's Tales Destroying What Little Remains of the Sonic franchise. Sonic R is a horrible, horrible game. For some reason Sonic steers like a tugboat, and you never seem to be going really that fast, or Sonic, whose primary thing was going fast. And they wonder why the Sega Saturn failed. So yeah, so out of the three main titles, Sonic CD and Sonic Fighters are really good games, and then Sonic R, meh. And the Game Gear games within them, yeah, they're a bit of fun, but they're Game Gear games. Moving on to the Resident Evil 4. This may sound really weird, but I didn't think they made it for the PlayStation 2. I've only ever seen it for the GameCube. Bizarre, I know, but it's true. This game, good God, is it tense. I started it up, and literally the first moment, it's a combination of several things. The fact you can't move when you're shooting, the fact that you're stuck in the tank-style movement. But unlike other Resident Evil games, I feel like I can actually win this. So it's kind of very, very tense. You're like, I need to get to the next save point, I need to get to the next point, I need to find somewhere to get more ammo, I need to get health. And it's just like, if you don't pay attention for 10 seconds, you get hacked in half with a chainsaw and then die hideously. I really want to continue playing this game because if the first level's that tense, I want to see how it is when it gets to the final boss. I do know I've complained before now about Resident Evil style glowing wiggly boss monsters, but in Resident Evil it looks like it's meant to be there. So yeah, this gets the seal of approval, and I'm going to continue playing it just so I can try and scare the crap out of myself. Weird objective, I know. And finally, on my PlayStation 2 adventure, we end on a sour note. In this series, I've gone through and complained about a lot of Crash Bandicoot. Well, the first 2 games. I picked up the 4th game, where Naughty Dog gave it to that wonderful company, Traveller's Tales. Now, bear in mind how thoroughly Traveller's Tales ruined Sonic, which is one of my favourite video games ever. Considering I'm a mild fan of the Crash Bandicoot series, I'm not a big fan, I kind of enjoy them. Them taking everything I hated about those games, and then ignored all the good stuff I liked, and made this piece of shit! I want to find the people who made this game, and then stick it directly up their arse, sideways. It is ridiculous. Every other level is a gimmick level. The bosses are fucking ridiculous. They're gimmick bosses, all of them. The hit section's off, the jumping mechanics don't work, the spin attack is shitter. This may sound weird, but in the more polygon form, I preferred Crash Bandicoot. His new smoothed out version on the PlayStation 2 looks shit. So, with this game, I hate the art design. I hate the jumping mechanics. I hate the tackling mechanics. I hate anything they've done to try and improve the game. And I got to the second boss, and I just kept getting killed over and over and over again. You know what? Fuck this game. I am never playing it again. Some of the worst platforming I've ever done on the with PlayStation controls. You'd think now they're on the PlayStation 2, using the analog sticks would make the game a lot more easy to play. Nope. Clearly Traveller's Tales don't like making good games, otherwise they'd actually make some. So, every complaint I've ever made about the fucking Crash Bandicoot series, times them by 2 and insert them in that game. I can't stand it, and I'm never playing it again. I don't know what it is. Maybe the hit section definitely off is one thing that's really annoying me. And also, everything to be slippery, because I always seem to slip off the fucking good platforms. So, to hell with that game. But at least, you know, well, at least that's the first impression of a viewer. I don't have to do anything else. Even though I did mention something about Final Fantasy, but at least I haven't seen that yet. What the hell? Next week, first impressions of Final Fantasy 9 and 10.
Gavite Games.